Hi, everybody. It's Craig and Arun back with our Thursday 6 free picks you're going to have. We're going to look at 3 games. We're both going to give a pick on each game. We haven't talked about any of the games. We're going to have 2 NBA and 1 Major League Baseball. And this is for Thursday, April 10th, 2025. Not the biggest card today. So we had to be a little creative on the games we chose here. We wanted to also be afternoon or evening games. So that way, it's a lot of baseball early. That way you can make sure you get in on them, even if you're watching this on YouTube late. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, put in the comments what you like. If you want to, we still haven't came up with a name yet. If you want to put in the comments what you think the name should be, please do so. All right, Indian Cowboy, how's it been this week?
Yeah, it's been a pretty good week. I was on the Pirates under today, which was phenomenal because the final score was 0-0 heading into the 9th inning. And then final was 2-1, so that was good. And hockey's been really good for me. I won a 5-0 run and 17-4 run, something crazy, for almost plus 4,000. So that's been good for me. But excited about the NBA playoffs, dude. That's what it's about.
Right?
So
a week away, I think. I mean, the play-in tournament is like next week, so it's like,
yeah.
Then there's there's basically everybody else is going to basically be off. Don't forget, if you haven't done so, make sure you get in on the free $60 account. It's docsports.com/free60. You can use that $60 if you're a new customer to get in on either one of our best plays or any of the cappers over at Doc Sports. It's $30 per day per sport or $99 per week per sport. One of the things that you can get in Indian Cowboys is level 1 here. You get in on the premium and premium plus. Premium plus level 1's just $19.99. Indian Cowboy, tell them what they get for level 1.
You get an extra video from me every day, and that can include anywhere between 5 to 8 extra free selections per day. And usually people ask which one is my favorite on those. So what I do is I do a total of the day. So usually I put my favorite total over there. And you get an extra video from me every day if you're sort of like IC Overtime in addition to the daily video. So the best selections are at Doc Sports and Arun Shiva. Next is YouTube Premium, and the next is Free Picks. There
you go. And then if you get on the Premium Plus, you get level 1, you get Indian Cowboys plays, just like you talked about, for the extra $30 for a month. That's so a total of $49.99. You click the link in the description to get that. You get 3 expert plays from some of our Doc Sports experts. Right now, I'm doing it. We're looking for a host for that, but right now I do it every day. We've been about a month now. Got tons of members. Everybody's loving on it. We went 2-1 the last 2 days. We're filming this as we're filming this. I don't know exactly how it's going to end up, but we've had a nice little run. People say I want to go 3-0. Listen, I want to hit a parlay every day too. I want to be 7 foot tall and be playing the NBA.
Hey bettors, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button and make sure you hit that notification bell so you get notified when we post a new video.
Okay, hey, without further ado, let's do it though. Let's talk baseball first. Good matchup here, Phillies and Braves. Braves minus 125, total 8. It's good matchup here. Both teams not been scoring lots of runs. Been really good on the if you'd have said these 2 teams were great on the unders, I'd have been like, nope. But that's just been the case through 10, 11 games here.
Yeah, I mean, I have Luzardo and Schwellenbach. Is that what you have?
Yes.
Yeah. So you always have to check because these things constantly change. Yes. But the Phillies won. Obviously they beat the Braves 4-3, right? Most recently, but the Braves shockingly won a game, and it's hard for me to say that being an Atlanta Braves fan that we shockingly won a game when we're a team that's consistently wins. Typically. But, here's what's interesting. Philly was a dog going into the game today, and they won as a plus 131 dog. Philly hasn't lost back-to-back games all year. Atlanta comes into this game 2-9 out of the gates. Very tough. But if you want to look at it another way, they're 2-2, right? Because they started the year 0-7. That game was totaled at 8.5, and it went under 3-4 to what you were saying. Luzardo rolls in here. Luzardo's a funny guy. He pitched for Miami for a long time. And now Phillies have seen his talent. He's over here at the Phillies, and he wants to do well for his new ball club. 5-5-2 against Washington, pretty good. Really good against the Dodgers, 7-2-0. I'm sure he's going to get a massive contract from the Dodgers pretty soon. That's what the Dodgers do. They just buy up everybody. But Schwellenbach, 6 innings, 1 hit, no runs against San Diego. He didn't get a win, but it's because the Braves can't hit. And then 8 innings, 2 hits, and no runs against Miami. That's pretty darn good too. I feel like this game can go either way. I do think Luzardo is in for a letdown. I just can't. After dominating the Dodgers, I just don't see him. This was a guy that had a 5 ERA last year and a 3.58 ERA the year before and 3.32 before that. I think he has a letdown here, and I'm gonna surprise some people. I'm gonna take the Braves.
I mean, let's be honest. The Braves are better than their record. That's
are they? I don't know.
I think so.
I feel like I'm being a homer. Like I'm a diehard.
No. I think you can be, and this happens to the public. This is really the betting public is they look at the records and they say 10 games in, 11 games in, this team's good, this team's bad. That just doesn't work that way. Remember who was leading last year? I believe it was the Angels were over 500, way over 500 about this time last year, 10, 11 games in. The Pirates were leading the division last year at this time, and they end up both being the worst in their division. So don't put a ton of stock in the early. They always say you pitch to the back of your baseball card, you hit to the back of your baseball card. There's a reason why they play, stats are such an interesting thing in baseball is that you usually don't go, you're not a 250 hitter one year and a 350 hitter the next year.
Can I tell you something really about the Angels real fast? Ron Washington is 73. He's 7-4 already. And you remember watching, Moneyball and all that stuff. If you would have given him Shohei and Trout, he would have done amazing things. They had the right players but the wrong manager. They wasted so many
years.
I mean, man, if they gave Ron Washington that talent, he would have done. I mean, he's got this crew at 7-4. They should be almost 8-3.
Yeah, I mean, but I think the shoe's going to drop on that team. I think the shoe's maybe going to go the opposite way for this Braves team. I like the Braves in the first 5 innings in this one because I think it becomes a starting pitching. You play first 5 innings, that basically takes the bullpens out of it, and you're playing basically starting pitching. I think there's a pretty big edge for the Braves. Now, they got to score some runs. I mean, this offense has got to wake up. I think they do so a little bit. Like you said, Luzardo, I think, was good last time out. I don't think he's that. I just don't think he's that. Let's take the first 5 innings and the Atlanta Braves in this first matchup. Now, second and third game, we're going to the NBA, and this is danger time. So, be careful in the NBA because if you're playing the NBA schedule this time of year, you have teams that are trying to lose. You have teams that are trying to win. You have teams that are fighting for these spots. You have teams that have already secured the spots. So we're going to talk about 2 teams that I think the reason why the odds are the way they are. Knicks and Pistons is the first one. Pistons favored by 5. Pistons are a team that were the worst team in basketball last year in the NBA. This year, great story. I think they're the 5th seed, might be the 6th, but they're at that 5th or 6th seed. And, just to make the playoffs is something. If they'd have been in the playing game, I think but they're way better than that. Pistons favored by 5 here, total 224.5. Knicks, super disappointing against I think they were trying to make a point against the Celtics. Up 3, they do not foul late. Tatum hits a 3, sends them to overtime. They end up losing. Again, the Knicks have lost to all the good teams. They cannot beat a good team. But can they beat a bad or an average team like the Pistons? What do you think?
Well, I mean, the Pistons have lost in them both. So the Pistons have beat them both times this year by 5 and 9. I'm surprised that New York comes in as a dog by this much. I would have even taken New York plus 2.5. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have been that bad of an idea. As far as the Knicks injuries are concerned, they still have quite a bit of their star players still playing. Yeah, that game against Boston, they really, really wanted to win that game. And the funny thing is, I saw a Porzingis sighting the other day.
Yep. So, finally.
So he's there. And then, New York had the problem in New York is they have lack of depth, right? Towns, Hart, Anunoby, and Hart's out this game. Anunoby, Brunson, Bridges. And then after that, McBride, Robinson, and Payne. But it's not like it's nothing. It's nothing there. And you have a Pistons team that's desperate coming into this game a little bit. They've lost back-to-back games to Memphis and to Sacramento, and they're going to be pissed. And I know that New York comes off of a loss as well, but Detroit's got good coaching. And for Detroit to possibly lose 3 in a row, I mean, you got to go back. You got to go back until late January when they lost 3 in a row. I think if the Knicks were expected to do well, this line would be 2.5, but they're not expected to do well. So I'm going to take the Pistons.
This is going to be the first-round matchup. I meant to mention that. This is going to be the first-round matchup because the Knicks have secured the 3rd spot, I believe. And I just don't think they could do it because I think they have all the tiebreakers lost. So the Pistons are the 6th seed. So these two are going to square off in the playoffs in like a week, I believe. I think it starts a week from Sunday, a week from Monday. So we're going to see these two again. I think the Pistons want to send a message a little bit. And the Knicks, I think, are going to rest as many players as they can. Unfortunately, with the way the rosters are now, you can't just rest everybody. Like, you can only bring so many guys, G-Lights up. You got to, at some point, like McBride, Payne, all these guys are going to have to play. I think maybe we won't see, like, Hart, like you said. I don't think we'll see probably Brunson or not a lot of him. Probably not Towns. And for those reasons, I'm taking the Pistons -5. I just think the Pistons are the play. I wouldn't go crazy. As they say, as our friend Detroit Lenny says, pizza money on this one. That means, like, you play just a little fun game, because there's better games to be had. In a week and a half, we'll have playoffs where you don't have to worry about what's the motivation. Every team's trying to win every game. So save your money for the big bets for next week. When we're on next week, we'll be talking all kinds of playoffs, because we'll know what the schedule is and everything lined up. So let's go to the next game, Hawks and the Nets. This is a little more interesting game, because even though the Hawks really don't have a whole lot to play for, and neither do the Nets, I think the Hawks need they need a confidence builder, because they're going to be the 10 seed, I believe, right? Like, isn't that the way they're going to be the 8. Well, they're tied with the Bulls, a half game back. So I don't know. I think the Hawks, I don't know if they have the tiebreaker. So the Hawks probably need to win this game to secure that they have a 2-game, because what it is if you're the 7 and 8, 7 plays 8, 9 plays 10. Whoever wins the 7-8 becomes the 7th seed. If you lose the 7-8 game, so if the Hawks stay as they lose that game, then they host the winner of the other game. And if they win, they become the 8th seed. Whoever wins that game is the 8th seed. So the Hawks are going to have 2 games, most likely to win 1 game. This is kind of a must-win to make sure they get that 8th seed. Hawks -13 total. If I read my handwriting right, I don't think I've ever seen a Hawks game that ends with 227. 227.5. Hawks are usually in the 240s. What do you like in this one?
Hawks, because several things here. One, I agree with you. I think the Hawks really need a confidence booster. They actually lost to this team 3 weeks ago, 122-114. So that's going to piss them off. And the Hawks have actually lost. They are 4-6 out of the last 10, which doesn't sound bad. But you can also say they're 2-6 out of the last 8. So that loss to the Magic, I thought they played really well. They just fell short late. I like the rotation. I think the addition of Mann and Levert and Niang actually adds a lot to this team. It's a shame, because if the Hawks had Johnson, right, and if the Hawks could be nasty good, because Johnson, the Hawks have hit on a couple of these draft picks. There's no doubt. They hit on Johnson, they hit on Risa Shea, and that's pretty darn good. And but yeah, they need this game. They need a morale boost. They played well against the Magic, in my opinion. And then you have Brooklyn beating New Orleans in the last game. I don't trust them to win back-to-back games. And Brooklyn being such a big dog, I think, is something to be said too. The last time they were such a big dog was to the Clippers, and they lost by 32. So give me the Hawks.
I would love to be able to tease this game with somebody, because I like the Hawks. Like, if I could get them into that 8.5 range, like, that makes me feel a lot better, because you can murder teams in the NBA, murder them and win by 10. Like, it's just like, even the backup players they're all pros. Like, so it worries me. I wouldn't talk anybody off the Hawks. Maybe it's safer to play them in the first half here, because if you play them in the first half, you kind of take away that letdown. They jump on them early. Maybe in the late game, they let up a couple baskets and you don't cover in the end. So maybe we take the Hawks. I see them at 6.5, 7 in the first half, and that's a little safer. If you wanted to maybe tease them, maybe put them with the Pistons. That way, a 5-point teaser, you get the Pistons as a pick 'em. Hawks -8. I think that would make me feel even safer in this one. But Trae Young needs to this has to be his game. I mean, he has to just go off in this game. Like you said, they play again tomorrow. That's also a little worry for that letdown in the second half, because if you're up 10, 15 points, you might say, hey, let's try to back off the minutes on the starters. The Hawks do not have the greatest bench because of injuries. They also traded away, like Hunter. That was a big, they did get Levert and Niang back, but that was Hunter is a stud. He really is a stud. I think he's going to be great for the Cavaliers come playoffs. But let's take Hawks first half as the official show pick here. So those are your 3 free picks. We have 3 games we looked at, 6 picks for you. Don't forget, get on the Premium and Premium Plus. Click the link in the description to sign in. You get Indian Cowboy. That's about 150 plays from Indian Cowboy that you get a month for $19.99. Then you add the other $30, so a total $49.99. You're getting another 3 picks a day, so that's another 90 picks. So it's like 250 picks approximately for $49.99. Good luck, and we'll see you again on Friday night.